You go.
Hey everybody, welcome to a conversation on the Sermon on the Mount. We are back. This is a completely different crew other than Rachel than the last podcast.
That's true. Oh. The last podcast was,
How'd it go?
Low key.
I didn't listen to it.
You didn't listen to the last one? Or the one with Bridget? Did you listen to that one?
That was
Bridget?
The last one.
Well, you know what? I have another one I have to send to you.
Well then, I
that.
definitely wrote the title and description wrong.
Whoops. I apologize.
So that one was the last week and then people are going to be confused.
They are.
The 6 people that listen.
Yeah, I know. It's my fault. It's my fault. The one with Bridget and Kim and...
That's why we do no editing.
Scott and Ty. It was a big group, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of different people, different opinions.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Just different experiences. Because we were talking about Blessed Are the Meek, and there's just different people that experience that. And
was it a room of meekness?
No, I don't think so.
So just letting you know, all this room, not
meek,
blessed.
Not blessed.
Bridget brings such good energy to things all the time.
She really does, yeah. I told her, I said...
She cheers for people on Sunday morning.
Oh, I love it. Is she married yet?
No.
This week? Next week?
Next
okay,
week.
It's very soon.
Yeah,
okay.
We're doing the coffee card at it.
Their marriage, their wedding's on the right weekend.
On the right weekend? That's nice.
Is there a
That's
wrong
nice.
weekend?
Well, it's also my anniversary weekend.
Oh, nice.
Look at you.
Marriage.
20 years.
80.
Oh, if it feels like 80 and it's been
10.
That's not
Tenor.
No, it's 8 times as good.
Oh, 8 times is good. Okay.
They've been married 1/10 of your age.
I have to tell you, the
You
podcast
said
without
she's
you
100?
It was so great. It was so great.
we missed you so
If you go back and watch
much.
the video, Rachel's just calm and happy the whole time.
Yeah, without us, do you cry more or less?
Far less.
Really?
You don't have it's different feelings without
So we make
you
you
guys.
cry.
I don't know if
Well,
that's
it's like-
complimentary.
Stressful feelings without you guys. There's a lot of things that have to happen.
You like
but
when
I'm
things
okay
are
with that.
stressful.
I don't mind it. It's not those don't make me cry. Overwhelm does make me cry though. But you guys you bring a different dynamic. This is going well.
Before we jump into the Beatitudes, Rich, you want to talk about these bells?
Oh, yeah.
Tell the story.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Have you heard this story?
They sound so good.
Do they?
Yeah. So, you'll notice... I gotta hold the dinger. It's gonna be really, really annoying. Greg, come back. I gotta tell a heartfelt story now. Gregory, come back.
It's better if he stays away
Okay.
for a minute.
For the audio only listeners.
They're just laughing and hearing dinging.
Estonian flag.
Estonian flag on one side. It says Tallinn in Estonia, and it spins. I hope. The very first person I met in Estonia, his name was Osvaldo, and I walked up to him and said, stuck out my hand to shake it, and he goes, "I'm Osvaldo," and I said, "Good to meet you. I'm Rich," and he just goes, "Good for you." And that moment was everyone laughed around us and not around us because it was loud. And
He was
then
so ready for that. He was ready.
It was wonderful. And then we met his wife Kylie, who was also there. She's from Estonia. He's from Chile. And over the next 48 hours, we saw them a lot. They came to meals with us. We hung out. Kylie came to both the leadership session, then the business session. We grew a real fun friendship and relationship there. And then on our last day, they showed up at the door of our Airbnb with some gifts. 6 of these little Estonian... Oh no, the flag went away. Little Estonian bells. And what they said was, "We know you have 5 coffee shops in the States. And this is 1 bell for each coffee shop. So when people come up to the counter, if they need to they need something, they can ring the bell." And he goes, "And we're going to hold on to this 6th one for when you come over and start one here." Oh. And it was just such a cool moment. Yeah.
Grabbed it out of our hands.
Grabbed it. This is ours. We're going to hold on to it. But it was incredible because it was a relationship, friendship, connection moment across hours and miles. Yeah, and it was the whole trip was worth it for that one moment for me. Yeah, so if you go into a coffee shop and you see these little bells, that's what it's for. Be sure to ring it a bunch of times because the baristas will love it.
They will love it.
Oh,
Maybe you should put the dinger stopper back in there.
Got it. Good for you. Osvaldo, I hope you're listening. We need to eat food in Chile soon.
See.
He said "see" a lot.
Yeah.
So that's the bells.
I made it through a heartfelt story.
Well,
You were holding the dinger.
Yeah, for most of it.
today we're coming to Blessed are the merciful.
Mercy. Yes.
Merciful being this act of active grace.
Act of compassion.
And I think that this is a unique in the Beatitudes. Wouldn't it be great if blessed are the persecuted because then you get to persecute? That's not right. But this Beatitude is blessed are the merciful because you'll receive mercy. I do think it's interesting. The giving and receiving of mercy are totally different experiences. I mean, they're compartmentalized. I'm gonna mention a little bit of this parable that Jesus shares. Peter comes up to Jesus and says, "How many times do I have to forgive my stupid brother?" And then from that, Jesus shares a parable of a person who's forgiven of the massive amount of debt, and then the next moment, like still celebrating this debt being forgiven, condemns, beats up, imprisons somebody who has owes them a little bit of money. And so I just been trying to process thinking about this is why is there so much disconnect on the giving or the receiving and the giving of mercy? And maybe that's true for everything, but it's that why is there that disconnect?
I wonder if sometimes we don't realize how much mercy we receive. Like it's really easy to, I mean, not just from like God, but from each other and people, like it's easy to see what, like that whole plank in other people's eyes. It's easy to see what's happening and what frustrates you about somebody else, but maybe it's a little harder to see how you're frustrating or causing pain or
Why do
require
you keep looking at me?
I'm
Causing
pain. Require. No, I wasn't. But I wasn't.
You can't lie.
I wasn't.
Lying is
I was talking to you. But I do think that's easy. Like not especially, but for like my kids sometimes, I don't think they always can see how they're kind of getting in that teen phase, and they don't always see how things impact other people. I mean, they're kids; their brains aren't wired that way yet. But like, it's easy for them to kind of go about life and not realize when you, even though I'm your mom, when you talk to me that way, it still impacts me. Like I'm human. I wish that it didn't bother me, but like that humanity and like when you talk to your friends like that, or you send like even like small things like sending, like texts. Like if you don't know how to text well, you can be really cutting on a text. And like, I don't know, I think that it's easy to not recognize how much mercy is required in day-to-day living.
Yeah. Well, and is it still mercy if you say to somebody, just to let you know, I'm giving you mercy right now? Does that remove the reality of mercy, or is that?
I mean,
no?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think that's a different
issue.
A different issue.
I think if you're using it as a way to like backhandedly, then it's not really mercy.
Because then it's about you. It's what you're receiving.
You're getting something out of it.
Yeah, I think too. It's like these are small things, but like there's obviously much bigger issues. But what does like active compassion look like? Like what is even like I still feel like I like that word compassion. I think about empathy and compassion and like what does compassion look like? What does that mean?
But we used a video clip a couple years ago about compassion looks at somebody down in it was like a stupid animation of a bear or something, but like a person looks down into a hole and says, "Oh no, you're down in this hole, let me help you out." That's compassion. Empathy is, I'm going to climb down in the hole and I'm going to sit with you.
Yeah.
And those are kind of the differences. So sometimes people need empathy is not less than, it's just different. It's very different. To go where somebody is and say, listen, I'm not going to try to fix this. Or I'm not going to try to even address this. I'm just going to sit with you in it. empathy.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
compassion is to go, they usually should go together to a degree, but compassion, active compassion, is to see somebody in that pit, whatever that is, and to acknowledge that they're there and to go, I will help you. And so when we say so that's where it's like, sometimes we think unactive compassion is looking down into the hole, not having empathy and sitting with them, but looking down there and going, oh, it's too bad you're in there. Let me know if you need something, and then walking away instead of actively helping them.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah, not sitting and declaring it's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
That's, yeah.
It makes me go I mean, sorry, just thinking about like the easier things again, like just thinking about the kids and thinking about active compassion with those moments. I'm trying to understand, maybe I don't know where I'm going. Never mind.
I think that, there's helping or training or equipping others to have it. I think that, just thinking about myself, is that if you're told, you better be merciful to me or to better be merciful to somebody else, I just see mercy as almost like a character trait. Or part of having good character. Maybe it can be forced out on occasion, but I think that the story of Peter is a great illustrator of it, is that Jesus doesn't go, how many times I've forgiven my brother. Jesus doesn't then force, he draws this picture. Like, it doesn't make any sense that you'd be forgiven of so many things, Peter, and that Peter, each of us, but you have big issues, and here you are, you're so upset about 7 little things. And so to have perspective, and so that seems like that's the whole theme. We're going to ask, like, kind of towards the end of this text, to ask that question: why is there a repetitive connection between showing mercy and receiving mercy, or having mercy and receiving mercy? Like, this is a biblical theme. And I think that in order to have grace and mercy are not about being deserved. So how do you generate or create or do something that's not deserved? Because that's like the price analysis. I'm not going to extend you mercy because you're not worthy of it. That's, if you end at that, it's never going to work. And Jesus looks at us, God, in his relationship with us, he doesn't just see us as broken. He sees that we're created in his image. He loves us beyond measure. Talk about a perspective to aim for. When Jesus says, love one another as I've loved you, it's that he was continually merciful to the end. And for us to have that and not to go, is this person worthy of mercy or not? That equation never works.
How do you feel like you grow in mercy? I mean, because it can say, blessed are the merciful, and like, I think we choose it, like we can make choice, but I also think like there's some life circumstances that can cause us to grow in mercy. Or what does that look like? Or
lose it. Right?
Yeah, or lose mercy. Yeah, both ways.
Yesterday, I was with a group of pastors, and they asked the question, so are you guys doing anything this Sunday for the 5-year anniversary of George Floyd? And I felt like this wave of like, apparently PTSD is real.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And, I think that there are circumstances, situations like where I felt like there was so much opportunity to like, I think my perspective grew and opportunity for mercy, but there was also these selective moments where I felt like I was like, mercy, empathy grew a lot and also disappeared in some sections in that season, which is, I know that's not really what you're asking, but I feel like, hey, I feel like I grew a lot in mercy in 2020, and I also selectively let it die. So growth.
What do you do with that? Like with because I feel like there's just like hard moments where kind of almost to get through, you let mercy die. It's this whole like, how do I shut this down so I can get to the other side? But like, I don't think we want to stay in that. So how do you move from one side to the other?
Well, Jesus says, recognize what you're receiving.
Yeah.
I think you have to. Mercy gets weird when you view yourself too highly or too lowly, so that's tough. And then also, mercy gets weird when you view others too highly or too lowly.
That's a good point.
It's self perspective, but it's also perspective of others. Working on those things. Yes, Rich.
Nothing. I just got an email that's important. I'll tell you guys about it afterwards.
I think
He's over there smiling.
I think
know.
I thought I said something really good.
I thought you
You
said
did. I was listening.
I was listening, and I liked it.
early in our conversation, I like the process of asking people, like, ask, what would you get for a gift? For $10, $100, $1,000.
Mhm.
Like, what would you ask for? If you have to ask for it, it's in, like, maybe this exercise is too fictitious and it actually is easy. But if you had to, somebody you know, somebody you loved, you cared for, says, I'm going to get you $1,000 gift. What do you want?
Mhm.
I mean, I feel like there's all kinds of, talk about the value, overvaluing and undervaluing yourself. In that moment, you'd go, like, I can feel myself like, you're not. That's stupid. Amazon gift card is fine, but
I'm gonna get $1,000.
receiving it, like, you can say, I have issues giving it, but also we often have issues receiving it as well.
I think this is going to be cliche, but it's what's in my head. People talk about hurt people, or serve people, or whatever. I think people who show mercy receive mercy. I think they grow together. And for some of us, we'll give mercy. And then the other one grows slower, but it's still connected. There's still something there.
There's like the Christian churchy pastor answer, like, how do you grow in mercy? Well, you got to recognize that God gave you mercy. And I just, like, true, but also, like, roll my eyes a little bit of, like, okay, like, whatever. But I think if we truly believe that real people, the church is God's hands and feet, when you do that process of seeing where you've been given mercy, yes, it is the cross, but it's also the people around you that are doing God's work by showing you mercy. You go, I did this wrong, or I was stupid, or I did this thing, and that this real person, this real instant, that person was God's hands in the way that they showed me mercy. That is way more tangible to me.
Yep.
Yeah,
and build the habit of seeing it, acknowledging it, thanking it.
Mercy's in God's playlist.
I think too, like, the more, like, I think sometimes we feel like we have to have everything together to do something. Like, I have to have myself together to, like, pastor or to lead something or to do this. Like, I have to have all my stuff figured out. But, like, truthfully, when we're stepping out into something new, like, that's when you make the most mistakes because it's new and it's a stretch and it's, like, maybe it's something you haven't done before, and you require almost more mercy because you're going to make more mistakes.
Figure it out.
We should almost celebrate that of, like, being a pastor, your life is inherently a little more public than other people. And so, but I love when we can be real and be like, man, and did you see the mercy that I was given by these people?
Yeah.
When I screwed this up? That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, and mercy is not just about, like, you're alluding to this, it's not some malicious failure. Mercy is...
Can be. But...
Can be. Yeah, but often, like, the most repetitive mercy it's the accidental, it's the unintentional, it's the minuscule. That moment when you go, they're a few minutes late, I'm done with them. Like, boy, that was very merciful.
It's in a relationship, but go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, it's choosing to continue to see somebody in God's image despite the fact that sometimes they're not God's image.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's like the daily living of family, life, neighbors, the people you're around the most. It's like, that's the practice of, those are the moments of mercy that you have to, like, that really do grow in us, because they see you the most and you see them the most. Like, like when your spouse is grumpy, not that mine ever is, but other people's spouses are grumpy, or I'm grumpy.
Good save.
Yeah. Like, like having mercy in that moment, like that's important because that like it feeds into the marriage, it feeds into your relationship, it helps everything. And I feel like those are those daily moments where we can grow, just the daily relationships, the repetitiveness. And it might feel small because it's like those small things that happen, but I feel like in those small moments, it can grow to bigger moments of mercy with.
Do you think commitment to relationship makes mercy easier? Like, I feel like sometimes you go, like, well, I'm committed to this thing anyway, so I should just figure out how to work through this.
I think
Yes.
it makes it harder, but paired with caring, it makes it worth it. I think it's harder.
Yeah. I think that in closeness of relationship, I think it's, for me, I think it can be easy for me to be less merciful to people that I'm closer to than I am distant to.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
or maybe it might not be less. It might not be less. It's just more quantity.
Yeah, I don't think it's less because like somebody,
you just see
somebody that cuts you off on the road, whatever. They're idiots.
There's not a lot of mercy there.
There's no mercy there. Whatever.
I get what you're saying.
But Scott cuts you off on the road.
I feel like,
but I think like in like. I mean, just because when we talk about commitment, I think about marriage automatically. But like, there's things that like it's that like the person you live with, they're gonna struggle with this, and so like that struggle may not go away. So like, it's easier in those moments to go, okay, like I know this is true and it's gonna happen, and like I have to. If I don't have mercy,
I guess I think what I'm trying to like say is that commitment to anybody, a really good friend, a parent, a spouse, that commitment is mercy.
Yeah. There's a reason why many wedding vows have for better or worse in them.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean.
I don't either. Yeah, what are you talking about? Hannah?
And as a merciful person.
I do think that, I mean, this, just hearing all this, processing this, is that thinking about this call, blessed, so Jesus is on a roll, but blessed are the merciful, and seeing that as let that be 100 little things. Mercy is not proportional to scale. The value of mercy is not proportional to scale. So you can say, this person really screwed up, and I'm going to show them mercy. This is really valuable mercy. Yes, but also when, when I am snappy about something to people that I care about, cumulative, the value of being merciful as opposed to being whatever I am is the little is so valuable.
Well, I feel like the more we talk about it, the more I'm getting this like idea that mercy it's not a sliding scale. It's you're either merciful or you're not. You can't be a little merciful.
That's the same true of
in the big situations, little situations. You're either merciful or you're not.
That's the worst.
Yeah, I was kind of merciful.
Yeah.
I showed a little mercy.
And couple that together with their culture in the initial hearers of this, but also in us as well, is that there's a cultural value to showing people no mercy.
Yeah.
That's a power dynamic that, especially again, like this is the weird definer. It's like, show no mercy to those that don't deserve it. And that's, Jesus said, this tells this parable, the person who's forgiven of it's 10,000 bags of gold. It's such a stupid, like the point of it is to go like, okay, how could you even get that much debt? It doesn't even make any sense.
What's he doing?
And then the next moment for somebody who's like, it's like a soda. So with this thing is that it does not, mercy is not this deserved. It does not make sense if it's logical. You have to.
Then there's like also that power dynamic, like of somebody, like the ability to show mercy is, I mean, I don't think it's just that, but it is like the person that has the power being willing to let go of power to show mercy to somebody. Like, I do feel like there's a lot of times in the Bible where we're asked to give up power and asked to give up our rights and asked to like let go of things. And like sometimes it's really tough, but I do think over and over again that like humbling of ourselves where we're willing to do that is really important.
Yep. And we have to remember, this is the precursor. A couple minutes down the road, Jesus is going to go, It's great that you love people that love you. I'm asking you to love those that hate you. With the person who slaps you on the cheek, you don't hit them back. That's what asks you to turn the other cheek and let them hit the other one. If somebody asks you to carry their bag, go farther. And so, what an introduction.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a wrap up? Rich's wrap up.
Thank you.
I think
I had jazz hands.
nice binary switch of mercy. I think makes sense that there's either mercy or there's not. Scott's. No, Greg talked about this too, but Scott brought it. But the overtime of mercy means that people who are around us the most see us at our most merciful and at our least merciful. But I think the do of the ambulance happens a lot with the people around us. But then the be comes out. I'm on the roll today with speaking, but the being comes out with everybody else. And then also with the people around, because the doing mercy slowly but surely grows our being merciful. And I think that's important. And we're going to not be merciful a lot, and we're going to be merciful hopefully more, and eventually that tips. And that's growth. And I think that looking at it and going, we should be merciful, not because we will receive mercy, but because Jesus said, be merciful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we will receive mercy. And that's pretty. And by pretty, I mean beautiful.
See you guys next week.
See you.